issues around, things like data, not just availability, but the appropriateness of data. So if you think about the idea that, I think, COVID is a good example of this, where if you're a bank and you're trying to take a loan or no loan decisions on the basis of an applicant's online form, then the data that has been used to train these systems wasn't taking COVID situation into consideration. So the data set in some sense has changed. And I think so to make these things practical, you really need to have machine learning systems which can easily adopt to changes in the way that the data is structured, or the availability or the relevance of the data. So that, I think, is one of the things which is really, really important, the ease with which in practice you can modify and adapt systems in a changing data environment. That's really, really, really key. And I think another one of the challenging things is, if you really want to make AI work well, I think I think we need to move to a slightly different paradigm in which, we need to move away from this very static sort of, you get your training data labeled by somebody, either in-house or externally. This trains some kind of system, which is then static, and just use that system within your organization. And I think in practice, one needs to be much more aware of those kinds of situations. Well, actually the data sets, the relevance of the data set which you use to train the system has decreased, therefore you need to adapt the system more quickly. You also need to be aware that the system may not be actually predicting accurately for certain kinds of people. So for example, in the bank, you might want to have the system say, well, actually, I really don't know what's going on for this particular customer. Please, could a human take a look at this particular case rather than a machine making the prediction? So I think those kinds of more interactive opportunities where the computer alerts a human that it really doesn't understand what's going on for this particular example is both important because it improves the efficiency and the accuracy of your deployed system, but it also gives you an opportunity to retrain the system, to re-educate the system, so that actually those situations where it's not very confident in its predictions will arise less often in the future. So I think those are some of the practical steps that people can use or need to be aware of if they really want to make highly performant systems in practice.